So, without further ado, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce This is another in a series of live broadcasts enjoying the creative sounds of music and harmony. Hope you enjoy. Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked. Tuned in and turned on.
Welcome to the Talk Dirty to Me podcast with the Maestro. Not just numbers, not just stats. It's about what they mean. And now, your host, the Maestro.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Talk Dirty to Me with your boy, or your boy, depending on if you're feeling formal or not. Me, the Maestro. And as always, thank you for checking it out. It means a lot. Your feedback, everything you have to say, everything you have to give. I keep saying it. I'm just going to keep saying it. This is our podcast because I would not have done this without everyone here saying you should do this, and all the support I've gotten with it and all the help I've gotten to do it. So as always, I'm just going to give you roses while you're here with me. Hopefully you're having fun checking it out. So let's chop it up a little taste and talk about a player who I feel is a gap filler, a player who I believe has what it takes with one or two development pieces needed in their game, and they're at that right point to be able to do it. And that is Kyu from Japan, 6'3", 204 pounds, and 15 years old. The one thing that is top of mind when I watched him do his thing, his ability to move without the ball. For those of you who are just now listening to me, go back and pull the receipts. For those of you who have heard me say this so many times along, all my magic words, right? Help out all the new fam. So all my old heads, help out all the new heads. We talk about what? Say the words with me. You can put them down there in the comments if you want to, just so you can know what's up. So when I say one of my magic words, you guys can just put it out there because I know you hear me. But in this case, one of the things that I always talk about, that I look for, that I expect to see from someone developing their game for where they are, is being able to move without the ball, because that tells me where you are in your head in terms of being able to serve and help your team. How can I be where I need to be when I need to be there so my team can best succeed? Maybe I need to pull myself out of a play. I know that sounds weird in basketball, but recognizing when I'm going to clutter that up, let me get out and let me be the relief. Let me be the relief valve. Let me be the outlet. Let me be something else other than somebody clogging up the play. That's basketball IQ at its highest level right there. What I liked about Kyu, he seemed to recognize that. And at that height of 6'3", here is my development offer. Once he develops a consistent shot, once he develops a consistent mid-range to long-range shot, he will be even more of a threat, because he showed on a regular basis in a crowded floor of players not exactly spacing the way they should with as much floor as they had to work with. He showed the ability to be able to not only step in there and do what he needed to do to be where the ball should be and be where the ball could be, but he showed an awareness that once he received the ball, he would receive it with leverage to be able to make a play. And I give him that too. That is something else that tends to get overlooked because sometimes it leads to disaster. A lot of players, I've seen them, they get the ball, I'm going to make a play no matter where they are on the floor, without an awareness of what's going on around them. You're already off my list. You're not someone I would consider signing to my team, because you're not showing me the awareness that I'm looking for. Kyu showed not only an awareness of placement, but an ability for placement. In other words, he was willing to be those places where you would want your man to be or want your player to be in order to be in a position to serve the play that's happening right now. Like to see him in a full court run to see if that translates across the half court line. Would really like to see as he moves forward with his game, A+. I want to see him develop that shot. I want to see him develop those other things that will help serve him. So as a player who might in the long run, again, I know positionless basketball, don't yell at your boy, positionless basketball, someone that as his game plays out in the long run, to be a handler, to be able to open up the floor with a mid-range to a long-range shot, I think it's going to be special. I really do. He definitely has the IQ for it. He definitely has the mindset for it. And I believe he has the willingness for it. So across the table, Chung, let's go, baby. Let's get something done. Thank you all for checking out this part of the episode, or this first half of the episode of Talk Dirty to Me. Catch you on the other side.
Thank you for listening to the Talk Dirty to Me podcast with the Maestro.
Want to get involved? Bring it. Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld NBA.
If you have the brain,
Join as a coach.
If you have the game,
Join as a player.
See the game,
be
be
the
the
game.
game. But now, back to Talk Dirty to Me with
The Maestro.
Once again, for the soul, children, string section of
Let's get back to some wonderful sounds.
And welcome back to this episode of Talk Dirty to Me. With your boy, me. Again. I know that's how we start, but I'm doing it now because it's fun. It's just funny to me anyway. So sorry about that. If you don't find it funny, I give you money back for this episode. So there you go. So this will be a 2-in-1 story because I keep getting requests for story time with the Maestro. Keep telling us about other stuff that you think is going to help us get better. So I'm going to see if I can combine two things into one here with kind of an origin story for you. If you really want to serve your team, and I know I've said this before a few episodes ago, always find out where your coach's head is at. Talk with your coach. Find out the schemes, the principles, the plans. Ask them what you need to do to serve the team better. A serious coach is going to give you a serious answer. I had a coach tell me one time when I think I was about 6'2", we were going up against a team that had a 7-footer and a 6'10" or a 6'11" or whatever. I said, Coach, what can I do to help us out this weekend? What can I do to step up? And he said, well, if you can grow about 9 inches, that will help us out a lot. And I remember thinking to myself, really? I'm sincerely asking, like, what can I do? Like, how can I help the team? What's going on here? And I wasn't the only one who was asking, Coach. And we realized then we had a coach that maybe this wasn't taking us serious, but that's another story. Hopefully all of you do. So that's how you can help serve your team. Whether you're new on the squad or been on the squad for a while, don't be afraid to go to coach and say, what can I do? Let's talk about this principle. Let's talk about this play. Let's talk about this, whatever you might have. I use the word principle a lot. I realize some of you might not know what I'm talking about. If you do, I apologize. Most of the time when you have an open floor plan for offensive strategy, the coach will, according to how the ball is brought up and what they call, would give you a number of options of where you go, where you flash, how you flash, when you screen, and things like that. That's what I mean when I say principle. Depending on the play they call, they might say tiger principle means you do a certain thing. They might say rando, whatever. That means you might do something else. It's almost as if everyone on the team has what a wide receiver would call a route tree, of what you would do according to what is called from the side of the court. So when I say principle, that's kind of what I'm talking about. And I guess I should probably spend some time on that more one day if I keep getting questions about it. So, okay, let's put it out there. This is that whole principle thing and origin story I'm talking about. So you've heard the story too many times about state championship in basketball. That team, we actually won a lot of state championships across not just basketball, but football, baseball, I think I told you, even soccer and tennis. But here's how that team got started before that particular moment. And it involved me and the guy who still curses me out to this day because I did not pass him the ball in the last minutes of the game, is Daryl. Go back from that moment, 7 years and change. We were the fifth grade team, which is elementary school JV football team. There's a sixth grade team, and then there's a seventh and eighth grade team. The sixth grade team plays, the seventh and eighth grade team plays. That's the big team. The sixth grade team is sort of like the real junior varsity that plays against other sixth graders. The fifth grade team, we're sort of like the practice squad team. We play or whatever. So we were all on this fifth grade team. We lost the sixth grade team for some administrative reason or whatever. And then we end up losing the seventh and eighth grade team. It was really weird. But the school didn't want to forfeit the last games of the season. None of the teams were winning anyway. So it's like 3 games left to go in the season. They got permission, which I still don't know how they did this, to get us fifth graders play against. It was a choice between playing the sixth graders, which would have been more natural now that I'm older and know what was going on, but it's against the seventh and eighth grade squads. This is exactly what happened. The team started off, we only had 18 players in total on the team. Guys were playing two-way football, which really didn't matter at fifth grade, but it's going to matter now. We were first game out against Davis. We got ran over like a Mack truck running through ice cream. It was pretty nasty, pretty ugly. We fought hard, but we lost. Second game out was a lot closer. We still lost. Third game out was against our big rival, and they were led by a whole bunch of eighth graders. And the coach decided, after all of our practice and working a bunch of different people in offense and defense, you had to know every single play. He would make you drop the plays, all this other stuff. He decided we were going to play Iron Man football. So he picked out the best players and put us in positions to play. He said, I do not care if we win. I do not care if we lose. I want you guys to go out. And for these 4 quarters, I just want you to play as hard as you can for the guy next to you. That's all the coach said. So we're kind of calling our own plays. We're kind of working the game. And it's in the 4th quarter. We're down by 2. Whoa, we got a chance here. Bankston has the ball. They're matriculating the ball up the field. We decide, okay, let's put our biggest guys on the line. I wasn't one of the biggest guys, but they said, well, Maestro likes to take a charge. Why don't we go on and make sure he's on the D line too? And I didn't understand what to do, so I kept jumping outside. But when I would jump outside, I knocked my guy down, and I'd go and I'd knock down the quarterback. And I did like 3 plays in a row. Like the coach is just saying, just wait for the ball to snap. Finally, I did. Ball snap. I did the exact same thing again. But this time when I got to the quarterback and he had the ball, I just kept running through him. And he goes, ugh. And I realized he didn't have the ball. And I hear our side of the stands screaming. Daryl, the guy who still lets me know that I did not pass him the ball when he was supposed to have it, he picks up the fumble, runs it back in, scores a touchdown. Little less than a minute left to go in the game. We actually kicked field goals. Daryl kicked field goal because he was always the greatest talent on all our teams. And we ended up winning the game. And it was a huge moment. We're screaming, we were high-fiving. We're number 1. As stupid as that was. But that core group of cats, we stayed together through all of elementary and JV ball into high school ball. And between all the sports we played, I think we lost less than 18 games or 20 games between basketball, football, baseball, soccer. Oh, volleyball. Forgot volleyball. That group was together for that whole time, but that was our origin story, the moment that brought us all together and made us believe we could actually do something. We didn't lose another football game, I think, until our sophomore year in high school. And then when we only lost 1, we didn't lose another basketball game, I believe, until I think that was also the sophomore year in high school. We lost our next basketball game, and then we lost, obviously, our junior year, too, in the state championship game. We lost 2 games in soccer, I believe, in total. We lost 3 tennis matches in total, and I think we lost maybe 4 volleyball matches when we got to high school just because we were playing volleyball, because, to be all fair, we were chasing the girls who were playing volleyball. Anyway, that's another story. You just never know that moment that's going to happen that's going to give your team a chance to grow. For us, that moment started with going to the coach, learning what he wanted us to do, and then going out and trying to execute. So there we go. A little bit of both. Story time with Maestro, hopefully a fun story for you, and also about what you can do to make your team better and make your teammates better. So hopefully you had fun with that. Any other thing you want to hear? I'll let your boy. You know that's where I want to go. That's just going to get it done like that. And I'm just going to tell you right now. So Easter, right? The Easter bunny. But yet instead, when we go Easter egg hunting, it's chicken eggs. So shouldn't the Easter bunny have paper out on him for kidnapping?
I mean, I didn't realize we were starting right now.
Thank you again for checking out the Talk Dirty to Me podcast with the Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind.
So, see you next time and talk dirty to me.